Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of Banter Blitz with yours truly, Jan Gustafsson. I'm in a cranky mood today. I don't expect it to be a good show. I got nothing funny to say, but I will do my best to still crush all of you, because that's what we're here for. Challenge me to a game of 3 minutes or 5 minutes. And yeah, that's all you have to do really. Let's start. Don't know why I'm in such a bad mood. Nothing bad happened. Maybe crushing will cheer me up. Let's play JFK Stevens. No, JKF, sorry. Not related to JFK. JKF Stevens. I'll go e4. Why not play e4? Alright, open Sicilian it is. Najdorf. People go h3 these days, and research has shown that it is important to get in g4 for whatever reason. To disturb this knight on f6 as quickly as possible. e5, knight d2, this is where the theoretical debates are being held. h5, one of the main options here to stop g4. b5, another move. Bishop e6, I'm less familiar with, but how bad can it be to develop the bishop? One question here could be if d5 is any good. I'm guessing it is not, because knight takes d5, bishop g2 looks quite fast. h6, I'll go bishop g2. Once again, I'm pretending to know what I'm doing here. I really don't, because I don't regularly play e4. I'm toying with the idea, but as you can see by my banter outings, I don't have a great touch. I have a feeling I had this very position in a previous edition of the show, but I never played JKF Stevens, so maybe he has an analysis partner who also thinks we should never take on f4, but we should go queen c7, allow f5, put the bishop on c4. I'm not sure that JKF Stevens think tank is right. And it looks like the clock is in the way and we can't see the move time anyway. So let me do some live redesigning, which is always great fun for all of us. Anyway, yeah, I'm not a fan of allowing me to go f5, because now this bishop is a little stuck. He has to start worrying about b3. The only good square the bishop has, as far as I can tell, would be the b5 square. And I also have the plan of going h4 followed by g5, which is a problem. He goes a5 to vacate the a6 square for his bishop, which is legal. How do I handle my business here? I think I'm gonna go back to this plan of going h4, g5. Could make a case for starting with b3, bishop a6, bishop b2, or bishop d2 or whatnot. But first of all, I'm not 100% sure if b3, bishop b3 works. I guess not, because of knight b5. Anyway, h4 looks reasonable. Might also make sense to go bishop e3 at one point or another, just to control this diagonal. So many options, so little time. Go away. Now my thinking was that after b3, this bishop has to move, and I will put my knight on the very juicy d5 square to hopefully have a good position. Do I have a good position? I think I do. Not sure how to do it. I want to go c4. I'm a little concerned about b5 then. My feeling is going to castle queenside, no matter what. Maybe I should just keep it simple and get some pieces out. Knight b6. Yeah, time to do this. Still can't decide if I want to go a4 or if I don't. Might be a terrible move, and the Chess Culture Commission out there might have a meeting about me if it's time to get rid of their Grandmaster title after playing a4. But I wanted him not to go b5, and I don't really know what I'm doing. Knight e4. The problem he has is his bishop is sort of out of play, and I have a bit of a space advantage. Problem I have is my king isn't, well, it's not really in trouble. Let's be honest, I don't have any problems here. I'm just better. No rook h8 for you, JKF. What does JKF stand for? I do not know. b5? Whoa. Gimme. His point is cb5, queen c3 check. But I can see another pawn up for grabs. I was gonna centralize, but then I decided, nah, I'll just balance it out and sit on the other side for a bit, then move back. Bishop e8. You know what, just give me those pawns. Let's not pretend this is a very complicated game. All you gotta do is grab them pawns and not get mated. So, time to move on to the not get mated part. Now, I'll just keep grabbing pawns, see where it goes. If he takes on b3, which I'm expecting, I'm gonna give a check, and then another check, and then check. Let me think first, maybe. Nah. Threat of queen takes e3 check was kind of powerful, so I will try to get out of the way, but I gotta admit, not sure what I'm doing. I haven't calculated any of these lines. With queen b2 check, king somewhere, king g3, queen e2. Could be messy. So maybe I have to be very precise. And king f1, can he go bishop h5? Ugh, this is more messier than I was hoping it to become. What to do? Let's go here. Yup, well played. Still don't know what to do. I'll give a check. If in doubt, give a check first. I could take and give another check, but my king remains exposed. Let's see how it goes. First, let's play with his feelings. We always like to do that. Should be a checkmate here, but in my general apathy today, I'm not gonna be able to spot it. I'll just keep giving checks and hope I get lucky. Oh, there it is. Good game. JKF Stevens was very exciting, and I was very worried at more than 1 point. But all's well that ends well. Another game against Team Sheldon. Isn't Team Sheldon the... what were they called? The Army Ants? I think so. He goes e4. And to compensate for my lack of wit today, I will play all the exciting openings I'm bad at, like the Najdorf Sicilian, which we just saw last game. This is one of the two good openings. e4, e5 is good, and the Najdorf is good. Everything else, but this stuff is good. The problem is you better know something about it normally, which I really don't. f4? Yeah, let's pretend to be big theoretician here. Go for sharp lines I have zero clue about, while I'm sure Team Sheldon has had Leonard and Penny analyzing this position for ages now. Still, this is sort of trendy to go h6 first and then queen b6. They used to go queen b6 immediately. I have zero clue what the difference is. I guess in some of the sharp lines later after queen d2 takes rook b1, queen a3. It could be useful for black to throw in some g5 or whatnot. Team Sheldon is in deep thought. Knight b3. Do they do that? No idea. I'm already panicking about losing this queen. So I'll start removing it from her exile instantly. I recall some old stuff, some short Kasparov or something, where this was done, or this knight b3 idea, without h6 thrown in. But yeah, no clue what to do. I think h5 is sort of the typical move in these lines, with or without h6 to not allow the bishop to get to h5. And I have a feeling it can't hurt to get my queen back into the game at some point. This is not a tutorial on how to play the Najdorf kits out there. Don't believe any word I'm saying or any move I'm making. I'm gonna win against Team Sheldon somehow, but I honestly don't know any details or subtleties here. No offense meant, Team Sheldon. I just think you're better on your own. You're not a team player. Let's get rid of the queens. Why not? This might not have been a very smart decision because I missed knight a5 when I made that move. And knight a5 followed by knight takes b7 wins the pawn back. I don't like giving pawns back. After knight a5 I have d5, so I can make it look like very deep long-term grandmaster planning, which of course it wasn't. The line I'm talking about is knight a5, d5, rook takes b6, bishop c5 check seemed to work. So now I better think about dealing with this. Could still go for that trick, but it's less tempting with the rook on d1. I'll just play ultra passively. Go knight d7 back, not develop any pieces. If knight a5, b6. What's not to like? Now I'm wearing a Nirvana shirt. This is Kurt Cobain right here. This is Dave Grohl. The little guy is Dave Grohl. I forgot what the third guy was called, so don't think it's anything else. Nice maneuver, knight d2, heading for c4. I'll continue my ultra passive play and use my king to defend these pawns on d6 and b6. course it's Nirvana. It says Nirvana. Would I lie to you? No trust out there. F5. Stop putting pressure on me, Team Sheldon. I'll just keep playing passively. That's the mood I'm in today. Also, objectively, I'm probably sort of winning because everything is defended. And I have 2 bishops and all that stuff. I should have gone bishop g4, Team Sheldon. Alright. He wants knight d4. Somehow I'm very stubborn about parting ways with any of my pawns today. Might have to. It's very sad though. I'm sorry, Mr. Pawn. Not sure that's a good look. That's not what they taught me in media class, because I'm taking whenever I'm not in front of the camera, I'm taking lessons on how to look good in front of the camera. Like, don't look into it, look sideways. All that kind of stuff. Go away. Leave me alone. Okay, time to focus before Team Sheldon pulls off an upset here, which I don't want to happen. 96 I missed. Since dc4, there is rook d8 check. Nicely done, sir. What happened to all my extra pawns? Nothing I can do about it. I'll just hope the knight endgame is somehow good for me. But I have no idea if that's the case. Could be, because it sort of looks like I'm more active and whatnot. But honestly, nothing of the stuff I've been doing has anything to do with planning. It's just been making moves. Can I take? Guess so. Where to go? Here, maybe? Here? Who knows? Does have a check. Can't deny that. He's a straight rider. Another check. Probably the pawn ending does favor me, because I do have an extra passed pawn. And therefore Team Sheldon resigns. He played a very good game, sorry for my bad attitude, but Team Sheldon really did play very well, so kudos to him. Let's play BV Bolle 09. I'm gonna crush him, because he's only a 1430 player. No disrespect meant at all, but I think I'm gonna crush you, BV Bolle. But the point of this show, I don't know what the point of the show is. I was gonna give my usual speech. I don't discriminate by rating. I want everybody to get a chance. But today, just want to go home and sleep. I don't know why. It's Saturday. The sun is shining. It's really a strange day for... I don't know for what. Let's see. So depressed, I can't even think of anything. This is gonna be a great show to watch. So apologies in advance. No, I think I apologized before already. Anyway, let's talk some chess. d5, not a good idea here. You normally want to wait with all these d5s, because until there's a knight on c3. Because if you can't exchange this knight, then it's gonna get kicked around after an impending e4. And knight c6. You often see players who are a bit new to the game do this, bring the knights out early, but they will get pushed around. And it's not gonna be fun, BV Bolle. You might lose a lot of time while I occupy the center. So try to fight for the center with pawns. Here, go e6 or c6 before going d5. I'll go here. There's some funny lines if he goes knight takes e4. Then I could, for example, just play bishop e2, threatening dc6. And if this knight goes somewhere, I have queen a4 check. Well, now it's the scenario I've been talking about, where I've occupied the center with gain of tempo, and therefore my position is better than his position. I'll keep doing my thing, just push the pawns up the board. I guess e6 is the best move, but I wanna play more didactically. I don't even know what that word means. Ignore that. Let's try to checkmate him somehow. h3 would have been maybe more in keeping with the position. But I guess BV Bolle has to learn that there can be consequences for his actions of allowing me all this initiative. And I have no idea what these consequences are gonna be. I'm really just talking. Bishop g8, good move. Now I'm threatening queen h5, but I'm guessing he's gonna parry that with knight f6 when he's still sort of in the game. Like, he doesn't have any pieces developed and he should get punished for his sins. But so far, so good. Knight c5, now I shall give this check. And this check. This check. And this check. Time to cash in on one of those checks. Do I have another check? Nah, I think I'll take a checking timeout. Maybe there was a mate with queen f5, e6, but I couldn't see it. King c8 is too late. Where is the mate? Can't be very hard. This is a check. I believe we're getting closer. A pre-move rook takes. I'm not sure I got that pre-move in. Anyway, BV Bolle, yeah, the main thing is what I mentioned. Don't go d5 in this position. Try to get a stake with your pawns in the center, because such a position is very hard to defend already. You're behind in development and lack space, so it's tough. Let's play someone strong, get crushed and get even more miserable. Peter Lafleur, international chess master. I only play him because I've watched Dodgeball like 18,000 times, so I find it very hard to resist Peter Lafleur. Yeah, I'll stick to my boring nonsense, of course, for this game. Go knight f6, e6. See what Lafleur has in store. I think I've played the guy before. I vaguely recall some Catalan. Yeah. So I'll play the most dullish. Check out my video series on this topic, where I'm a lot more animated than I am today, explaining all the intricacies of the Catalan to you. Yeah, I have a strong feeling we've done all this before. It's a very solid line for both sides. Bishop f4 is the main move, bishop g5 also possible. Yada, yada, yada. I believe this is all theory, even though I could be wrong. No, I think it is. What do they do here? Is this the position where I'm supposed to go queen a5? I think this is it. Check out my video series, because my memory is a lot less trustworthy than me reading out files. But I believe this is how it's supposed to be. DC, not sure, but I see no reason to not develop this knight. So other moves, I'm sure, queen c5, bishop c5, whatnot. But this looks natural enough, since he can't go b4 just yet. I shall get my pawn back. And in general, if you get your pieces out here and you get the c5 in, black is in pretty decent shape in all these lines. He's trying to, I guess, sort of equalize with this, followed by knight e5 or knight e4. Maybe he'll manage, maybe he won't. Only time can tell. If knight e4, if I want equality, I can just take. He doesn't go knight e4, right. Never mind then. Queen c4. Guess I have to take with the queen, because if knight c5, there's b4. So I'll do that. Yeah. Pas de problème. But to generate winning chances might not be so easy. Even though looks like Mr. Lafleur all of a sudden is getting a little aggressive. Give me that. Too early to take on c3. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, it feels a little early, so I'll make a more random move. Queen c3, rook c1, I wasn't sure what was going on. Rook d8, I gotta be a little careful not to self-pin myself here, which is probably a bad idea, but structurally I'm better now. So things aren't too bad. Yeah, that looks like a good square, so please vacate it. I'm feeling very blundery, so I'll try to... No, that was ridiculous. That was totally ridiculous. I thought I was winning this pawn, but he has knight e5, for example, and yeah, that was just horrible mistreatment of a very nice position. So now I'm slightly worse instead of slightly better, which is not a very pleasant turn of events. But I'm gonna have to live with it. Also plays itself, this position for him now. Rook b1, threatening knight takes a5. Very upsetting. Time to speed up a little. At the very least. Missed that move too, of course. Some expert maneuvering here. And I won on time. Not a very good game by either side. I was better out of the opening, but then I made this absolutely ridiculous decision to play queen takes d4, which I have no justification for. Then I was slightly worse, but time was getting low and I flagged him in the end. Well, I guess I was winning in the final position, but time was running low. So yeah, thanks Mr. Lafleur for playing, and I will always be on your side against Global Jim, no matter what happens. Another one. Let's play Gadel. From Norway, chess country number 1, 1430, so I guess he's also kind of new to the game. And I won't be as mean as I normally would be. I will play the King's Indian, which I'm also not really qualified. I played the King's Indian when I was like 12, 13, maybe younger, maybe 10, 11. No, I think I joined the chess club in Hamburg when I was 11, so probably around then my first chess book was a German book called Kasparov's Chess Openings, and it advocated the King's Indian, so I played it for a bit, but I quickly figured it wasn't my cup of tea. However, I was always happy, even as a kid, if I could go rook e8, threaten e4, and win a piece with this double attack. So I will go for that plan. Gadel has played natural moves, nothing wrong with them. It's not highly theoretical, this setup, but nothing wrong with the moves he's chosen. And bishop c2 looks like he's also aware of my very evil plan of winning that piece. Knight d2, yeah, all these moves are okay. I'll go here. And no, it's a Nirvana shirt. It's not the Hanson Brothers. For all of you out there who could be confused by it, I don't know how people can come to that idea. Because I'm underground. Like, I grew up with Nirvana in Utero and Bleach, all that stuff. So I would certainly not mistake them with a one-hit wonder band. This setup looks slightly artificial. The bishop on a4 needs to breathe. And yeah, Gadel corrects his mistake, retreats his knight, so this bishop can go back again. But the last couple moves look like a bit of a loss of time. Bishop b3, I'd rather have put it on c2, because on b3 is also not doing very much. And now my pieces are more harmonious than his. e4, I guess I could take, I could also feel it would be more educational not to, but that's what I do. I take pawns when I can. What can I say about this position? I'm a pawn up. I'm better. Bishop c2 was a decent move, because else rook d8 would have steamrolled the thing. Here, queen e2 is forced. I'll take, and I'll go e4 just to give this bishop a nicer view, because views are important. Sometimes it's important to shut out all the noise. Just sit there and enjoy a moment of silence. Enjoy the extra pawn. Thanks for the game. Gardel with a lot of ace. What else do we have? The Donkey 85 from Japan. I heard there's a bit more chess action in Japan these days. They have some good players, but I guess it's still not game number one over there. I'd love to go to Japan. I've never been to Japan, and I've been told many a times that it's a fantastic place. So one day I shall go. The Donkey 85. What do I do against him? I'm guessing he was born in 85. Or maybe the name is based on some movie like 12 Monkeys that I'm not aware of. 85 Donkeys, but I doubt it. Would have heard of such a movie. The good old anti-Grunfeld. I can never decide which line to play here, so I tend to switch it up. Sometimes I go queen a4 check, sometimes I go takes and queen c2, sometimes takes and queen b3, sometimes takes and queen a4. I'm so unpredictable. I never have a clue what I'm going to do myself even. It's fascinating, is it not? In general, the logic is that without the pawn on d4, white has a little more wiggle room to maneuver black into lines here. That might not be to his liking, but of course there's lots of theory to all of those things, and it's certainly playable for black. c6, I could just go d4 or e4, but this time around, just for the sake of variety, I will take and then try to occupy the center with my pawns. Not sure this is the greatest idea, actually. But how bad can it be? In general, if I manage to finish development unscathed, is that a word? Not sure. Probably it is if I had pronounced the TH, but I'm German. We're not supposed to pronounce the TH. We just replace it with S. With S, sorry. Anyway, if I can get my piece out here, I'm slightly better, but I'm not so sure what happens if he goes c5, to be totally honest with you. And he does go c5. The donkey is tough. That's one tough donkey. Bishop d4 looked too equal. I believe this is also nothing, and he keeps playing well. Queen b3, probably you can just go knight c6. Probably, I would have to look up my deep files here. Bishop e3 is a little premature, and I should start with bishop e2 and castles, and only go bishop e3 when it's needed. Because yeah, now Mr. Donkey has equalized. Hopefully I can still trick him somehow. But so far he looks unflappable. Yeah, plays too well. Can't pose him any problems. It's very sad. Panos, who's not a premium member, is asking me how many hours a day should someone play chess in order to improve and crush a lot of opponents. You shouldn't play so much. You should get a premium account and start studying. Watch video series, do the tactics trainer, play against grandmasters where you can. Probably not me today because I'm in a weird mood, but play against grandmasters here where you can learn from their games and so on and so forth. So sorry. That's all I got. There is no secret like play 18 hours per day and you're gonna be able to crush everybody. No one plays 18 hours. Nah. I don't know, but there's no cheating. Gotta put in the time. And even then you might face the donkey and just get nothing. Can I ask the donkey some questions now? I'm tempted to go rook d5, queen e1. but that's probably not the way to handle my business here. I guess I should make a Luft, just in case. Queen b7 didn't seem to lead anywhere after queen a2. But yeah, he's playing very good chess. Very little I can do if someone plays very good chess. Which is sad. He's really exposing me for being the fraud I am by not blundering all his pieces. Takes and queen b7. I don't know. All of this is weird. Takes and queen b7 look risky. Queen e1, rook d1. And even if there's nothing, he can always take on a2. So bottom line is we just have an equal position. And the donkey keeps playing aggressively even here. Rook d2. I'm very confused by this game. Actually, not that confused. I was hoping that this transaction netted me an extra pawn, while my queen from a7 defends f2 simultaneously. But bad things could happen. Generally, such positions are still normally defensible with 4 against 3. Defendable. I keep mixing up defensible and defendable. But of course now white should be pressing if there's no immediate problems. Rook d8 makes sense, I guess. I should try to exchange one of those. Still have a feeling I might be blundering. Within the minute. King g7 is probably a clever move. Yeah, this might also make sense. Time to go back. The donkey's tough. Nothing I can do. Did I blunder my pawn back already? Sure looks like it. Rook e4, queen f8, and I hope something good will happen. Like, you can't go rook e4, queen f8, because queen h8 picks up the queen. But yeah, missed that. Very weird stuff. Queen c1 lose the queen, as I now figured, so I have to go here. I'm probably getting checkmated, which is not nice, but I feel I deserve it. For all my sins. Yeah, I blundered queen b1, and the donkey might be the one, even though he's gonna have to speed up at some point. Maybe he's happy with the draw. Who knows? I'm not happy with the draw. But I'm not sure how far I should push my luck. I'll do it though, just because I'm insane. No, not because I'm insane, because I don't want to draw. And I'm ahead on the clock, but I don't think the position warrants this. He can't even go rook f2. And he does. It really is tough. So I'll give some... Are those empty calories checks? Hang on. Queen f8, king f6. Well, at least I got queen d8 and that can think. I've thought. I won on time. But yeah, by now my position was also good. Still, excellent game by the donkey. Not very impressive performance by me. But more kudos to him who played, yeah, more or less a perfect game, I thought, until very late. do we play now? Maybe Tommy Kaka from Argentina. 2-4-22. Sorry. There he is. Goes e4. I'll go back to my main stuff. e4, e5, knight to c6, and then shuffle pieces back and forth. After castles, my main move is bishop e7, but for this game against Tommy, why not go for this b5, bishop c5? I think our boy Peter Svidler did a video series on this, which of course is highly recommended, like all of his stuff. d3 is not supposed to be the most critical approach to the position. h6, I guess, is useful. So is bishop b6 normally, so you can't go d4 with tempo. a4, I'm supposed to go out of the way to parry the ab5 threat. I've talked about this on many other occasions. In general, I don't like going bishop b7 in such lines because it's not good. Here we're facing a choice. The natural treatment is rook e8, followed by bishop e6. But I'm feeling more aggressively inclined, and I will play something a little more dubious, but hopefully more entertaining. Just to try to put my knight on f4. Normally this is, I'll be honest, it's sort of fool's gold. It's not a very good idea. And Tommy Kaka is reacting well to it, as far as I can tell. This knight looks very nice, but isn't doing all that much, really. White goes king h2. You can exchange it, but now the other knight is coming, and the other knight is the real problem, so this knight on f4. There goes ed. Okay, that I did not expect. Gonna interrupt my train of thought for a second. Just a second. And then go here. A, B, is rook b5 move. Nah, looks too artificial. Guessing the idea is to play d4. Not 100% sure. Knight d2, that's surprising. Not sure what that's about, but I will try to bring my pieces to the king side. Now I think knight d2 feels very strange. Rook a7, fair enough, but I should have some sort of initiative by now, right? At least I would hope so. For rook c7, something should work, like bishop h3, gh, queen g6 check. Therefore, I do not think he's in time to do that. Could have played rook b7 or some defensive move, but it really didn't feel like it had to be done so that we could have fun. Fair enough, fair enough. If knight d3, bishop c2 doesn't work, so he has to go rook e3, knight c5. I'm fine there, but I'm not sure if I'm leaving some better options on the table. Yeah, not sure I've played this perfectly. I also gotta speed up a little, because I've played slowly too. But I'm not happy with my last two moves. Knight d3 and knight c5 were strange. Time to activate at least something. Can take? Yes, I can take. And game. blunder? Might have blundered, which would be sad. Because, yeah, finally I was winning. Then I blunder. I'm still okay, I guess, but probably not winning anymore. That was another very weird move. That was also borderline idiotic. Did win on time after some terrible technique. Mainly, yeah, I guess I shouldn't have blundered this bishop c8, which really was unnecessary. So nothing to be proud about for either of us. Neither Tommy Kaka nor myself. But the game ended. Let's stay in Argentina for a second. Looks like we have some new Argentinian premium members, which of course I'm happy to see. Luca ND. What does that mean? Like Luca, I'm guessing, is the first name. ND might just be initials. I do not know. We will never know. De Marocci. Personally, I don't think the Marocci is very good for black, but it's easy to play and not so easy to crush. I alternate between knight c2 and bishop e3, which should both be playable. General the structure. White has a little more space, so black would not mind exchanging a bunch of pieces. Well, white likes to keep as many pieces on the board as possible, which is the reasoning behind the strange looking move knight c2. And of course, there are many other things to take into consideration, but as a rule of thumb, white wants to keep a lot of minor pieces on the board. All four of them, generally, if he can. But as I said, life ain't always so simple, and after knight g4, I already have to give up on that beautiful dream. And I will switch to arguing that my bishop on e2 was my worst minor piece and was very passive. Therefore, I don't mind exchanging that one, and that I'm still fine, but I understand. The didactic value went down big time when he played knight g4. So far, Luca ND is playing well. I'm not sure if I'm better. I guess I'm slightly better, because you're supposed to be slightly better in these Marochovian, that's the correct term, structures. I'm very afraid of any bishop f3, knight f3, any funny business, so I will throw in f3 ASAP. More aggressive player might have played h3 and f4, but I have a feeling that does not really use the personnel I have on the board all that well. So I should play more of a restriction game. Knight d5 is always tempting in such situations. I'm not sure, might have been premature. Could make a case for bishop h6. And I know I earlier talked about keeping minor pieces on the board, but with the light square bishop gone, things somewhat changed. Could go bishop b6, queen e8. Not sure how many benefits that yields, but I'll do it and see what happens. Knight c7, I didn't see how to proceed after queen d8, except for repeating moves, so I'm trying to prepare it somehow by, I don't know, getting a knight c7, followed by the other knight to d5. Hopefully something good would happen, but As usual, je ne sais pas. Kudos to Luca ND, by the way, who so far is playing very well. Does not look like a 1672 player. Maybe he just started playing on the site and hasn't blown up his rating yet the way I have. You never know. E6 weakens a bunch of things, so now it feels like the time is right to play f4, try to exchange his bishop, grab the d6 pawn, and hope things will be okay. Pawn is a pawn. Thinking here, things aren't so easy. Because Luca ND keeps playing very well. Feel very capable of blundering mate in one at any given moment here. So I should keep pieces very close to my king to stop that from happening. Bishop g4. Can I trap that queen somehow? I'd like to trap that queen. Guess it won't happen. Stop playing so well, Luca. It's not fun for anybody if you play well. That's the problem with playing well. Sometimes it takes a lot of time, but still, very good game by Luca ND, which just ended. I'll play one tough goose, son. Interesting username. What can I do here? G6 I don't think I've played much on these shows yet. It's a playable move. Main line I guess is D4 takes bishop G5. Well, if black gets this set up, you can look into the future with some confidence, especially since the tough Gustafsson has committed to putting his knight to C3. So it's harder for him to get in C3 and D4. Knight D5 makes use of that knight though, so I commend that move. How do I recapture? Knight takes looks more natural since this knight is always silly here. But I'm a little reluctant about allowing him to go D4 in one go. So I will take with the queen and then try to find another route for that knight. Not sure about that one. It's mainly based on cheapos. Which hopefully work. I went GF. You can't go GF. No matter how tough you are, you should never weaken your king that much. There will be a price to pay. Or so I hope, at least. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on today. I got very low energy, as Donald Trump would say. Let's see if we can up it one of these days again. This is an awkward move to meet because it's very hard to defend the f2 pawn. I'm not going to be able to do it, frankly. This I could take, but I will first take here, because if he recaptures with the pawn, then knight takes e2 will be devastating. Well, rook takes has its own set of problems. This, for example, is asking some questions, I would hope. Invite everyone to the party. Good move. Gotta give credit where credit is due. That was a good move. Check. Problem is you can take, and then we reach an endgame that is not very exciting. But we're gonna be here for a while. And one tough Gustafsson does resign, because yeah, I do have an extra exchange and a couple of pawns, so there was little to hope for. I'm not sure where it went wrong. Probably h3 was a little rushed. I'm not really threatening anything, or you could take on c6. And then play h3, when white is certainly fine. And here, no matter if it's good or bad, you gotta go for this. Which, no, actually you might be right. Yeah, you can't go for this because I'm winning a piece. So yeah, h3 was then just a very bad mistake, because with this kingside structure there will be blood. Anyway, thanks for the game and for the creative username. Let's play. Whom do we play? Our old friend Dr. Boki. Feedemaster. See what Dr. Boki's been up to. Goes d5, which is a good move. A little less flexible than knight f6, but still good. c4, c6. Not sure what I want to play. Normally I make it up as we go along against the Slav. Sometimes I play the main line, sometimes I take on d5. Sometimes I play this. Hard to make the right choices. Or it's not even the right choices. It's mainly opponent depending stuff. Oh yeah, he does this. a6, bishop f5. What do I want to do against it? That's the big question. I've played different things. Queen b3, bishop e2, bishop d3, knight e5. I'll go with this humble move. Carlsen had this famous game, bishop e2, h6, and then bishop d3. That's a little too subtle for me. I'll do something else, but I don't know if this is a critical move. Knight e5 is another move, cd5, and so on and so forth. But Dr. Boki is booked up to the eyeballs, as we can see, so you gotta take him out of book. Make him think, do I really want to go rook a7 against scary Jan? Will I ever get my rook out of that corner again? You gotta put doubt in his mind. b5 looks wrong here, takes an a4, and I don't think black is in time. So I believe rook a7 is the way to go. When I'll play something, probably takes a knight e5, but maybe not. The problem with rook a7 looks ridiculous, but the queen on b3 is also not doing all that much, really, if you think about it. It's targeting the b7 pawn if that gets defended. Many times it wishes it would be back on d1. So if you go for this queen b3, rook a7, interpolation, is that a word? I don't know. Then you better justify it. Dr. Boki, after more than a minute of thought, has gone for rook a7. cd knight d5. Can you do that? That looks suspect. General black wants to go cd5. I'm not sure if I should go for instant punishment with e4. Probably not. Knight c3. I can't see a way through yet, but it looks suspect just positionally. So I guess I'll develop. Not sure about bishop d2, because maybe I needed that square. I could have used that square for my knight. He takes, which once again looks a little suspect. Positionally, both bishop takes and pawn takes look good. Not sure which one I like better. I'll take with the bishop. Could make a very strong case for pawn takes as well. Taking with the bishop allows me to use this square for my knight as indicated. And I have a feeling that Dr. Boki has maneuvered himself into some trouble here. Because now e4 is a pretty serious threat. If c5, just dc5, and this bishop starts breathing. So, doesn't look so easy. Probably has to go f5, but then, well, there is bishop h5 check for starters. Yeah, this one I'll just take. Now the position opens up. The rook on a7 can look a little funny. What does he want? He wants bishop g7, rook g8, Queen c5, rook g7, e4. Looks winning for me. Queen g5, bishop f3. I could also throw in e4, that's why I'm thinking that might be even stronger. Bishop c6, bishop g7, rook g8, queen c5, queen d2, queen a7, bishop e4, queen b8, yeah, that's winning. So I'll start with this. I'm not sure, it wasn't needed. I could just take on g7 instantly, but this looked better, even better. Here's something. Probably it's the cleaning personnel. Normally they're very scared if they see me here on a weekend. So we're in for an awkward encounter in a couple minutes. This is the line I was talking about earlier, which I was hoping for what was winning for me. If it's not, I'm gonna be very sad. Very, very sad. So Boki's timeout gives me a chance to check out the chat. Yes, I will play a simul at the German Youth Championship. I'll go there next. I'm bad at dates. The 19th, Thursday, I'll give the simul. Was it the 18th? No, I think it's the 19th. I will be at the German Youth Championship in Villingen and hopefully crush a bunch of kids. Crush their spirit, mainly, but also crush them over the board. And yeah, always nice to stop by there. It's always a great event in Villingen. So looking forward to that. Let's hope I've overcome my cranky mood until then. B6. What's going on, Dr. Boki? Are you trying to muddy the waters here? Queen d4, queen g5. Of course I'm better, but I'm not sure I'm winning there. I'd like to be winning. Could also go here, right? It's gonna go knight d7 when I have a pleasant choice between queen d6 and queen g3. I might settle for this one. Nah, I'll go here, just for added confusion. Queen d6, something. It didn't really bother me, but I spotted something. Now Dr. Boki really wants to go f5, but then there's bishop h5 check, so he knows he's not going to be able to do it, and that bothers him. Then he sees, oh, 27 seconds left, I gotta do something, but I gotta win this bishop somehow. And he might just resign when the harsh realization that these things aren't gonna happen starts sinking in. He does go f6, but there is still this check. And now he resigns. Thanks for the game, Dr. Boki. Someone called Der Henker, which means the hangman, is talking about how children can help lifting a bad mood. Very true. All right. See if we got anybody new. Ah, here we got someone. Zelik, Mr. Zelik 182. Not to be confused with Blink 182. What do I do? C4. I'm white all the time today. It's nice to be white. So much easier to be white because you can make the first move. F5. Whoa. In general, I'm not a big fan of the early f-pawn advance. I quite like it to have my pawn still on d2 in these positions because now I've... Well, my point is, if they play a setup with c6, d5, then it's often useful to undermine it with d3, with d3 and e4. This is one of these lines which I've never ever studied in my life, and I probably never will. Every time I'm newly surprised when someone does this against me. Hello. Getting a visitor in here. So he's gone. Still don't know what to do against knight e4. One day I'll look at this line. Just for variety's sake, I'm gonna take it. I believe the main move is probably queen c2. Looks like Zelig 182 is well prepared for this turn of events. And it's one of these lines I sort of refuse to look at it because I have a feeling, okay, you play f5, e6, d6, bishop e7. What is there to talk about? But still, even if you don't believe a line is sound, normally it's quite hard. For me at least. Some people can do it. To refute stuff over the board, and it's much easier if you have a little guideline how to get the job done. But here, I'm not sure. I might be playing with fire. Rook f1, king f1, d e4. Either e3 or bishop e3, not sure which one. I should close the door there. Dry cleaning outside. Not dry cleaning, but... Here we go again. dc4. That's an unexpected move. I'll take here. Now where do I want my pieces? Not sure. Still noisy. Yeah, I wasn't sure about bishop e3. You could make a case for starting with knight f3 as well. But somehow his pieces look a bit all over the place. So I'm hoping this stuff is still nice for me. Start by targeting this dude, expecting bishop d6. Then I can start thinking about moves. Not so sure about queen a4. My point was c6, b4. But first of all, I'm not sure if that's great. And secondly, he can also go b6 instead of c6, which he does. Yeah, je ne sais pas. Hoping one of these weakish pawns is gonna drop. But if I have to give my dark squared bishop, then yeah, my light squared bishop is really not very impressive. So even if it ruins his pawn structure, I'd be somewhat reluctant to go bishop a5 and queen c4 because I'm left with silly pieces than myself. So probably, well, depends how things are gonna go. Probably I'll just keep this bishop, put it on c3 or somewhere, and see where the party takes us. Looks like Zelig 182 is spending a lot of time on this decision, and he thinks that bishop a5 was a serious threat, so he retreats, which I'm happy to see, because now I can take this pawn. More or less free of charge. a5, what does he want? Bishop c3, b5, queen d3. I don't know, I'll just take a little time out. Get out the way. Important not to blunder my queen with bishop c3, b5 now. So I will go back to square 2. Now it's time to hopefully activate a little bit. Expecting queen g6 when I wanted knight h4. Probably he's gonna smell that one out and go queen h5 instead, which is a better move. To be honest, yeah, not the best game of the century yet. Actually, I gotta be a little careful not to lose control here. Some people like to lose control. I don't. Some like it when they're about to lose control. Some just think they like it. Yeah, haven't handled this particularly well. He has a bit of compensation for the pawn. H3 is a little weakening, but I still did it. That's how weak-minded I am. Yeah, it's a weakness, but I'll still do it. It's getting exciting. G5, knight f5, knight e4, g4. Bishop e7, knight f5, knight e4, knight e7. Oh, all this. A little less exciting. e4 only move when still gotta be careful. Because there's so many holes around my king. He does play e4. And yeah, these dark squares of mine do not instill a lot of confidence. However, there is my excellent flagging skills, which now enter the equation. But sometimes it's sad, it's not as fulfilling to flag than to win. A beautifully crafted, strategical... That was a beautifully crafted sentence too. And Zelig 182 resigns. Interesting game. I have no idea what happened in that one, to be honest with you. Last game. But against whom? Maybe Skyfall. 2600 player. Oh, I'm 2999 again. Exciting. Skyfall, are you there or are you busy watching Spectre or whatnot? Looks like he's not around. Ah, there he is. Mr. Skyfall has arrived. Why does everyone play knight f6, g6? It really makes so much sense to fight for the center, but no one ever does it. Everyone. Oh no, but I grew up with Fischer and Kasparov. They have all these masterpieces in the King's Indian, so I really want to do that. c6, however, is a line which I don't know. I have a hard time believing it's any good, but it looks like that's what Skyfall is specializing in. Knight d7 even. h4 looks like the correct move. Then again, this is his specialty, and it's not really my style, but it just feels correct. Especially since he went to d7 after knight e8, h4, bishop g4, at least we can think. But this just looks so risky for black. My problem is I'm not really a natural born attacker, as you might have noticed if you've ever seen this stuff. But it was an invitation. I found hard to turn down. But maybe I've already misplayed it. See, bishop e2. That's my wheelhouse. But seriously, I think black is in trouble here because knight g5 is coming, threatening. And if you take on f3, just have bad pieces and a weak king with not much to show for it. Probably a more aggressive player would have played whatever. Rook h7 instead of bishop e2. But I'm not that good. Yeah, he does take and play e6, which I believe, given the circumstances, is the best you could do. Still worse, though. Not sure how to proceed, to be honest with you. Playing this because I want to lure the queen to e7, but I'm not quite sure why I want to lure it there. I'm drifting. That was my plan, though, to go a4 and then bishop a3, but it looks totally ridiculous upon second thought. So I'm going to change it and go bishop e3, rook c1, take it from there. Still trying to think of a plan. Not successful yet at trying to think of a plan. So I'll just keep making moves. Looks like he has a plan. Not sure what the plan is, but a plan he has. Maybe I should take a page out of Skyfall's playbook and shuffle my knight around as well. Not sure if knight e5 is a move here. Hope it's not. I have some tricks, like knight f8, knight takes d5. So let's see how it goes. So far, so good. Back to square one. Square 4 to be precise. Didn't need to go d5, but I felt it should be a good move. Rook d8, knight takes e6. I couldn't see anything. Let's see if Skyfall proves me wrong. Would not be the first time. Knight e5. Wanted to take this. And now this looks simplest. Or is it? Takes. Knight d3, king 2. c1, rook c1. Maybe it's not simplest. Maybe this is simplest. Many problems for Mr. Skyfall. Main threat is not so much bishop f7, but bishop c5, trapping the queen. I warned you. And Skyfall resigns. Yeah, I don't know that opening line, but it looks extremely dodgy to me, to be honest. CD, e5, knight fd7. Maybe it's a stylistic choice to force me into attacking. But yeah, this doesn't feel right. Not even sure if I can take here, but... yeah, it looks strange to me. Anyway, interesting game. Thanks a lot for it. Thank you guys for watching. Normally I end every show with apologizing. You know what? Today I'm not apologizing. I'm in a bad mood. Bad day at the office. Still crushed you all. Got back to 3,000. And more of it with a better mood to come soon. I'll be gone for a couple days. I'm going to this German Youth Championship. I'm going somewhere else. But I think I'll be doing a show on Wednesday with our under-16 world champion, Rowan Vogel, who's doing an internship here. I'll be doing other stuff. Stay tuned. Go premium. Thanks for watching. Tell a friend. No, don't tell your friends about this one today. That's a bad example. Tell a friend about all my hilarity that normally ensues. Whatever. Let's wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Bye.